On this edition of Lexington Now, the Center for Fathers and Families, parks spring programs, and a trip to Raven Run. I'm Neil Noah, and welcome to Lexington Now for the week of May 10th, 2021. The city has partnered with the Lexington Leadership Foundation to help families stay together and get whatever assistance they need. Part of that effort is the opening of the Center for Fathers and Families. We were there for the ceremony.
My name is Michael Overstreet. I just want to say on behalf of the Fatherhood Initiative, of Lexington Leadership Foundation, and the city of Lexington, we welcome you. We are so glad to see you. We are so glad you are here today for the community dedication of the Center for Fathers and Families here at 436 Georgetown Street. We're so glad you made it. We want to thank each and every one of you for joining us for this great occasion in this great neighborhood surrounded by great people.
Somewhere around 2009, 2010, we did a survey of the young people in our programs, in our youth programs. And we figured out that 76% of them, which eclipsed the national average, didn't have a father present in their lives or in their homes. So we started thinking about what would it be like if we engaged the body of Christ on this effort. And so we set about planting a place that we call the Center for Fathers and Families, so we can engage men and deploy them into their kids' lives, into their families' lives, and into our community.
The intended design of our households and our communities. Fathers that are designed to lead in homes, communities, schools, civic engagement. Fathers that are designed to raise up children in the way of Christ. Fathers that are designed to respect the mothers of their children. Let's say that again. Fathers that are designed to respect the mothers of their children and their wives, have the opportunity to absolutely transform. I could talk about the numbers of 23 million households that are absent of a father. We could talk about some of the logistics of all the things that father absence impacts: obesity, high school dropout, teenage pregnancy, any negative life outcome, substance abuse, misuse disorders, crime, any negative life outcome that we don't want happening to our children. Father absence exacerbates that. So it stands to reason to include the father across systems. Multi-sector impact has exponential impact on our outcomes.
I grew up in this neighborhood, so it means a lot to me to see what I see happening in this corridor or these corridors. We have a lot of resources. We have a lot of initiatives, a lot of folks getting involved, doing work down Georgetown Street. We have BCTC on Newtown Pike providing educational opportunity, expanding outreach and opening doors. And then for it to be anchored here by the Lexington Leadership Foundation and the Fatherhood Initiative, I think is sending the right message to our city, to our community, and especially to this neighborhood.
Every year it's a privilege to be a part of the Fatherhood Initiative over in Douglas Park. And to bring this center here to the community is excellent. And this is going to have a long-lasting impact on the West End.
This will make a difference. And that's what we all hope for in our lives, is to work on something that makes a difference for people. And I think everybody here can agree that fathers have such a critical role in their children's lives. And as you mentioned the number 23 million, I believe, children who don't have a father in their life in this country. And, you know, through the Fatherhood Initiative work, many have been convinced that this effort is the future for the success of our children, for reconnecting fathers, for making families whole.
It brings me great joy to be part of this dedication, because this is my neighborhood. This is the neighborhood I grew up in, and as we fondly call it, these are my old stomping grounds. But this is also where I was introduced to, or my family was first introduced to, and began to participate in the services provided by Lexington Leadership Foundation. My brothers and I got involved with the Urban Impact Initiative, and that's where we met our second family. My dad was associated with the Fatherhood Initiative during the early beginnings of the ministry. And now, because of God's grace, I'm on staff with Lexington Leadership Foundation as part of our Amachi Central Kentucky initiative. Thank you all. So that being said, I can't emphasize enough how much this all means to me and how much this all means to us.
I am so excited about the fulfillment of David Cozart's long life vision of a place just to help fathers. And I appreciate so much, David, that you've had this vision, you never let go of it, and that we've been able to see it today come to fruition. We are so grateful.
Parks and Recreation is readying its slate of outdoor programming, including new options and some returning favorites. Here's Kenneth Black.
Programs we've got coming up, we have a weekly series called Lunch in the Parks, where we'll be going around to different parks throughout the city and offering programs such as fitness. We do yoga. We'll have just some games and general recreation items for people to come out for a brief period of time during the midday and kind of decompress from work and relax a little bit. We've got intro to fishing programs where we bring out poles and tackle and show people how to set up our rods and reels, how to maintenance and set up all of your gear to conduct fishing, and then actually give them a chance to get on the water a little bit. We do an intro to canoeing program where we bring out all of our boats, PFDs, and paddles. We get people out on Jacobson Lake and we teach them basics of water safety, how to paddle, how to operate the canoes, and general considerations for future trips like river trips or things like that. We have some outdoor skills programs that we do where people come out and they learn a basic skill like knot tying or how to use a map and compass for orienteering, or how to identify animal tracks and track animals in the wild, as well as several of our nature education programs, identifying our spring wildflowers, all of our tree species that we have in our park, and just generally trying to educate people about the nature and wildlife that they find themselves in. Our newest program will be the Lunch in the Parks program. And with that, we're partnering with community providers to bring in people from our communities that have local businesses and local startup programs to come out and teach the course in conjunction with us at our parks. So not only are we reaching out to some parks that haven't seen a lot of programming lately, we're, like I said, forming new partnerships to offer a new kind of program to our community participants. Most of our programs are listed as all-age programming, and if you go through our website and do our registration online, you'll be able to see exactly what age ranges are if they are given for any of our programs. We do try to keep them as open as possible. Some of the skills classes and some of the more intensive like backpacking classes, we do have age limits, and that's for the safety and enjoyment of the child and other participants. But for the most part, we do try to accommodate all ages with the programs that we do. Currently right now, to ensure that we're following our COVID guidelines and protocols, we are requesting that people register for every program. If you go to the lexingtonky.gov website, you can go into recreation and find either under parks, you can find it under natural areas, you can find it under outdoor programs, my program, and you can go from there into the WebTrack portal to register for any of the programs that we currently have available. So currently our operational protocol is that we have a limit of 10 people per program. So we're hoping to increase our size soon as we can, but for right now we're asking people to limit themselves to no more than 10 persons per program. You can register by yourself, or 2, 3, 4, up to 10 at a time if you so choose. Our programs aren't typically designed for, you know, a group orientation for the majority of what we have. Our website hosts predominantly all the information over our programs. I'll give you a breakdown and description, as well as a point of contact for each program and who's running it. You can, for most programs regarding natural areas and parks, you can either call McConnell Springs Park or Raven Run. We're the two areas that do most of the programming there. For everything else, it would be follow the website and determine who's in charge of those programs, because we have a lot of divisions. If there's any programs that people want to see that maybe aren't advertised on the website or that they're curious about, they can send myself an email or an email to the main parks folder, and we will try to evaluate those programs and see what we can offer. We're always looking for new ideas, and we're always looking for ways to serve the public. So if you have those ideas, please bring them to us. We're more than happy to sit down and look at anything that people are interested in doing.
When we come back, we take a trip to Raven Run.
So I can safely fly out of Lexington Airport to go see my grandson, because I like grocery shopping and going out shopping with my daughters.
So I can feel safe when I go shopping or go to the grocery.
In memory of my husband, Bill McCann, who was a community leader, and he would have supported this cause. Help me and wear yours too.
Help me and wear a mask too.
Welcome back to Lexington Now. We took a trip to one of Lexington's most popular natural areas, Raven Run, and caught up with Recreation Manager Chris Poner. Chris gave us a look at what Raven Run has to offer and some upcoming events.
So I've been here for about 3 years now, and I've been in the manager position for about 3 months. Raven Run is the largest park in Lexington Parks and Recreation. It's 734 acres. Nature sanctuary here on the south end of Fayette County, on the border of Madison County and the Kentucky River. It has several points of interest. Along with that is going to be the Kentucky River overlook, which several patrons go visit daily. It originally opened in 1977, and they've made several upgrades since then to the grounds here. We have a lot of areas that you wouldn't see in your typical parks throughout Lexington, Kentucky. We have the longest trail system that I'm aware of in Lexington. We have over 10 miles of trails. If you want to stay on the Meadow Loop, it's pretty beginner friendly. Some of the back trails are a little bit more primitive, and they can be a little bit more strenuous. We try to do our best to keep them maintained properly and appropriate for the amount of visitation that we have. So we get a lot of visitors coming out here to check out the wildflowers this time of year. On a regular day, if we have good weather, we're looking somewhere around 250 people. If it's going to be a weekend, we're looking closer to 600, 700 people. It has a pretty sharp decline if the weather's poor. If we have rainy conditions or snowy conditions, we're looking at below 50 people. We still have a couple people come out, but not a whole lot. Oddly enough, COVID really gave us a spike in our participation out here. Over the last couple months, we ended up canceling our registration that we had during COVID. During COVID, we would allow 75 cars into the parking lot at any given time. So since then, we've actually have canceled that, and now it's just open to the public. Some of the programs that we are going over now, the next one we're going to have is going to be the historic Prather program. It's going to be talking about the 19th century Prather home that we have on the property. And I'll be going through a little guided tour about the history behind it and who lived in the house prior and everything. A new program that we actually just rolled out is going to be the Prather Picnic Under the Stars. And it's going to be replacing our stargazing program, and people can come out here and bring their dinner with them, and they can picnic in the Prather area, and also they can also check out the stars while they're doing it. That is for May 30th. If you're looking for more information, please go to our website at lexingtonky.gov and search for Raven Run Nature Sanctuary, or go to our personal website at ravenrun.org.
You can find all the parks information you need on the city's website, lexingtonky.gov. And did you know that Lexington has a comprehensive plan designed to guide the future development in the city? A part of that plan is Imagine Nicholasville Road. Kenzie Gleason of Planning talked to us about what it's all about.
Imagine Nicholasville Road is an offshoot of our city's comprehensive plan, which guides growth and development over the course of the next 20-some years. So it's the first corridor that we've looked at in this level of detail as it relates to the comprehensive plan. And we're asking ourselves questions like, as our community continues to grow and change, how do we want to direct that change? What outcomes are we looking for? Do we want sort of the status quo, or are there things that we're trying to achieve through the redevelopment and the process that occurs as the corridors evolve over time? We looked at the entirety of the corridor from downtown Lexington at the transit center, so the two-way pair or the one-way pair of Limestone and Upper Street that becomes Nicholasville Road, and continued that all the way actually to Brandon Crossing in Jessamine County, because that development really abuts the development in Fayette County as well. We see that there's opportunities for all of the commuters in Jessamine County. They could park their vehicles at Brandon Crossing if they so chose and use the bus rapid transit system to access destinations along the corridor, or to transfer at the transit center and get elsewhere in the city if they so chose. So we did look for the entirety of Nicholasville Road. I think it's about 6-7 miles, and made some recommendations about, what the different transportation improvements should be along. I think we looked at 6 different segments, because the corridor changes its character as you travel from the city center outside of town. As well as we selected several catalyst sites, is what we called them, places where we know that there's continuing change and redevelopment. Those were mostly focused in the retail portions, the commercial portions of the corridor, where we did some schematics to show how might this look in the future if we added residential or mixed-use development, and how many units could we possibly get out of these pieces of land, and what might that development look like? Having more internal roadways and walkways, plazas, those sorts of things that would be a pedestrian amenity for those that are either shopping or living in those areas. So we're actually coming to the end of the process. It was about a 1.5-year long planning process. We had several rounds of public input where we were able to conduct both surveys as well as in-person meetings. This was just prior to the current pandemic. We had almost 5,000 people respond to our survey to tell us what they would like to see along Nicholasville Road, how they would like to see that change over time. Much of Nicholasville Road is very car-centric. I think all of us agree that it's a bit of a nightmare to drive on. We all tend to avoid it, frankly, certainly during certain times of the day. And how can we make it a place that is more enjoyable to be and less congested, and perhaps more walkable and more transit oriented, so that if you did live somewhere where you could have the services you needed nearby for you for the day-to-day basis, but you needed to get down to campus, or you work downtown and there's somewhere you need to go every day, would you be more willing to use public transit if you had a nice, fast, convenient service that was provided to you? So one of the concepts in Imagine Nicholasville Road is to develop a bus rapid transit system, which is kind of similar to what you would think of with a light rail system, where you have stations and you pay for a ticket and hop on the bus or the train, and it comes by on a regular, frequent basis, say every 10 minutes or so. but those can be extremely expensive to implement. So bus rapid transit allows you to provide some of that similar service, but with rubber tires rather than a train track. So our first immediate step is to adopt the plan as part of our comprehensive plan, so that really kind of makes sure that it serves as a guiding document going forward. There were some concepts that were proposed in the plan, including the bus rapid transit, as well as some innovative intersection improvements that would really improve traffic flow for vehicles as well. I mean, we looked at all modes across this. It's not just oriented towards bus or just towards cars. There were enhancements that were designed to improve, the flow and the congestion for everyone. We will have future steps along the way to getting towards sort of the grand vision of the corridor. It's not intended to happen overnight, but it will guide that change over time so that when we get to a certain point down the road, hopefully we have a more enjoyable, vibrant corridor than we have today. We currently have a project website, imaginenicholasvilleroad.com. We do plan to migrate that to our imaginelexington.com website in the future, but for now that's probably the easiest place to go. I also work for the Metropolitan Planning Organization, which is the transportation planning agency for Fayette and Jessamine County, and we have links on our website as well. We're at lexareampo.org.
Most urban county government meetings continue to meet virtually, and we bring most of these meetings to you live. Check out our website for the most accurate and up-to-date coverage of city business. And we continue to keep you up to date on how the city is handling the pandemic via our official COVID-19 response site, including testing and vaccination sites. Simply click on the banner at the top of our home page. That's all for now, but as always, you can keep up with us on social media, check out the latest traffic updates on Twitter at LexRex, or catch our live traffic cams on lexingtonky.gov. For all of us at Lex TV, I'm Neil Noah, and that's it for now.